something profound. Oh, no, it's not. It's our demented sidekick, Buttercup. Gotta laugh from the Political Carnival. Hey, Laffy, welcome to the show.
That is such demented music. It so fits. Hey,
I know, it does, doesn't it?
It's sick music. It's perfect.
Well, you have such a passel of stuff going on, but the latest breaking story, and I grabbed you on the internet moments ago and said, hey, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
The fight goes on between Levi and Sarah Palin. What's the deal?
I want to know what Levi has on Sarah. He said that the reason Sarah didn't blast him on her interviews is because she knows what I got on her. It's a smart move on her part. Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. What
Uh-oh.
does that mean?
We got big trouble. We're going to have, all kinds of fun, and then Sarah went on Oprah. And I have quotes.
Oh, you do? What does Sarah have to say about this?
That's a great question. They asked her if Levi would be invited to Thanksgiving dinner, and she said, it's a good question. It's lovely to think that he would ever even consider such a thing because, of course, he's part of the family, and you want to bring him into the fold and kind of under your wing, and he needs that too, Oprah. I think he needs to know that he's loved and he has the most beautiful child, and this can all work out for good. It really can.
Yeah, under the wing. She wants to stuff him in the turkey is what that means.
The turkey that got his head jammed into a grinder behind her. The grinder behind her. Anyway, but yeah, that's got to be somebody's got to put music to that one.
Well, I'm guessing when he says she knows what he's got on her, we're not talking about her sleeping in late or anything like, I mean, there's got to be some true lovely dirt here.
It could have something to do with sleeping.
Oh my, yeah. You are no lady, I must say.
I never was. And it could have something to do, I don't know, with drugs or ethics complaint. Who knows with her? There are so many things that we could list on her.
This is where rumors get started.
Oh, let's do that.
Actually, I hate the abrupt change in tone, but I really want to get to this and make sure we have time to cover it. You covered something that was just profoundly touching on your blog, which is Political Carnival. And this has to do with the coverage of what was happening at Fort Hood and a very unusual comparison one of the students came up with.
Yes, this is one of my favorite stories ever. It's so touching and so bittersweet. It's a girl who just turned 18. She's very young. She writes a blog for teenagers, and she has a brother who's 25 years old who's stationed in Afghanistan. He's in the Army. And the two of them lived at Fort Hood. I mean, not the two of them, the family lived at Fort Hood for a couple of years, only just 2 or 3 years ago. And she was very, very upset. She went home crying from school, really in a panic attack, because her teachers required permission from her parents to see President Obama's education speech, but they didn't require permission to stay in school to watch the speech from Fort Hood about people getting slaughtered by a bad guy. And she's, here she is wondering whether her own brother is alive or dead, or whether he's meeting that same fate against some nutball, in Afghanistan. And the teachers think that's fine to watch these people mourning the brothers and sisters and, families of those who did get slaughtered. That's okay. But a speech about education and responsibility, that's not okay.
That's, even if they had not blocked access to Barack Obama, which in and of itself is bad.
Yeah.
The very fact they weren't sensitive to how some students may have viewed what happened at Fort Hood and how much they ought to be exposed to what happened there, particularly if they might have someone in the service. I mean, that's just blind.
That's totally blind. She actually wrote something else that was interesting. That for her, she's better than these pundidiots you see on TV. She's so heads and shoulders above them. She said, quote, "Why didn't my school show us the memorials for all of the 100-plus Fort Hood soldiers that have committed suicide this year, or all of the homeless vets who die from lack of VA health care, or even all of the memorials for all of the soldiers and Marines killed in Iraq and Afghanistan?" So this kid is in tune to way more than a lot of the people on the TV machine are.
Wow, and she's how old?
She's just turned 18. She's the niece of a friend of mine.
Wow. Good. We need people like her coming up because that's very insightful.
Yeah.
Lack of insight. That would have to do with A, saying stupid, punishable things about the president, and B, doing it on Twitter. This is what, your third time you found this on Twitter, this kind of thing?
Oh, at least. This is from this guy, Joe Sixpack Says. That's what he goes by on Twitter. And he just is just a ball of fun. He's a crazy, lunatic. He says in his tweets, "We will fight to keep our guns or empty them in them from my cold, dead hand. I keep saying better stock up on guns and ammo. If you're not NRA, please join now," in big capital, so it's please join now. And then guns and ammo going to be worth more, because that's in caps too, going to be worth more than gold. You got to keep what you got, you think? Their war will ensue when they try to take our guns away, but not sooner. And finally he says, if someone assassinated Obama, could we call self-preservation? I don't think it would get a conviction. Do you?
Wow. Yeah. Blatant stupidity and frightening at the same time. Although I admit it's going to work against him that he said, you have to join now. He probably just sent like 15 people over to the National Organization for Women and didn't realize it. So
that's right. The big capital now.
It's the only possible upside. Well, now we've got the idiots and the more depressing stuff out of the way. You have another case of someone acting utterly bizarrely and being a hunk at the same time. A Marine reservist who did what?
Oh, Mr. Marine reservist, Mr. Jason Bruce. Jason Bruce, okay, once upon a time, Angie, there was a Marine reservist named Jason, and a Greek priest was on his way to bless another retired Greek priest, and he got lost. So he asked Jason for help, but gee, boys and girls, instead of offering help, he bashed the priest on the head with a tire iron. And he assumed this Greek priest was an Arab terrorist because, he wasn't white, apparently. You see? And then he lawyered himself up before the cops even came to his house, so he was ready for that. And on top of everything else, all this, assumption that everybody from another land is some kind of a terrorist, there's a little twist. It turns out that there are racy photos of him up on a website, and kind of the kind that give you the vapors. And he's like this combination of Levi Johnston, Jeff Gannon, and Chris Brown, this naked guy who bashes people. And I keep thinking, like, is that a tire iron, or are you just happy to see me?
The thing is, Laffy, and for those of you just joining us and wondering what the heck you're listening to, this is Gotta Laugh from the Political Carnival. She delves through the internet and finds us the most bizarre things, normally brings them to us on a Friday night, but we brought her in tonight because, gosh, you know what, Laffy? We've been bounced for basketball. How pathetic is that?
I heard about that. I've been dumped for worse, so it's okay.
Which is a story we can tell at another time. You better get those details together for us. But thank you for your usual amazing mixed bag of detritus from the internet. And we will talk to you same time next week, because next Friday we're doing our Madman special we had initially planned for this week. So next Thursday, it's Gotta Laugh at the same time. Friday special programming, Madman. And at some point, we'll put you back at your regular Friday perch, my dear.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Laffy.